Well, we are just down to the final 1-2 minutes of trade, and what looks quite apparent is that this is going to be a 60-point cut, no taking away from that. But again, if you contrast that with the kind of drop we've seen across Asian equities or the way Europe is down between 1 and 1.5%, maybe it's not all that bad. Anyway, talk about where the pressure was on the downside. Some of the IT reactions on the large cap side have been very, very severe today. Wipro really stands out with the disappointing performance for Q2 and a weak guidance for Q3. 3% lower on that stock. It kind of took some others down, where the Tech Mahindra was lower, TCS was lower. And then come in your financial names. So ICICI Bank, as I was saying, Kotak Mahindra Bank, these are the big ones on the way down. Reliance didn't quite support the bulls' cause today. Reliance is finally ending with a cut of almost 1%. And you had some selling in stocks like Hindalco and NTPC as well. Now, that's the weak side of the screen. On the flip side, we've had outsized result reactions. And actually, we had good result reactions on a lot of the big Nifty winners. Bajaj Auto, 7% up. LTIMindtree, about 6% higher over there. Nestle was up 4%. And UltraTech, as Nigel told us, that the results were actually, absolutely spot on. Nothing wrong with them at all. About a 3% up move there as well. So I guess, Nigel, the fact that we had good Nifty earnings, largely speaking, maybe that partially at least saved the day.
Well, it's a very tricky market, though, Surbhi, because if you bought that dip, you'd be making money. But towards the end, if you
didn't sell in time, you'd be losing.
You'll be again down close to around 19,600 odd. A few stocks that did very, very well, though, in today's trading session. Shakti Pumps, they got an empanelment. The street read that very, very positively because the quantum was very high at around 1,600 crores. So that stock went home with solid gains. You had NBCC that was up close to around 12% odd. So that stock did pretty well. Apollo Microsystems, well, that stock is up close to around 7.5%. For the week, it's up close to around 18%. Couple of other names. Vascon as well was higher in today's trading session. Was lower, actually. That one has recovered. You had HCC in the final hour of trade did pretty well. That one as well was up close to around 3% odd. So all in all, well, from where we started off, Surbhi, you'll be happy to see that we end with a cut of only around 60 points. But on the flip side, getting into the final hour of trade, you're expected Nifty, you'd be hoping the Nifty builds onto those gains. But maybe there was a weekly expiry-related factor as well that played out. And that's why we went closer to around 19,600. The bulls would have hoped for 19,700. The bears were hoping for around 19,500. So we are bang, middle of that range.
Absolutely. And I think a lot will depend on what commentary we get. If there are any remarks on these high interest rates when the Fed chair speaks tonight, because that US 10-year bond deal, before we sign out, let's pull that up. It is, refusing to lie down or lie low. 4.97% the last I checked. It's basically almost touching 5%. Let's see if we get that 5 in overnight US market action, or whether there's some talk down that comes in from the top Fed officials or not. That is the big watch point, along with, of course, all the developments in the Middle East. There you go. It is relentless at 4.9697. We have to watch this one quite carefully. Okay, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Closing Bell. It's a goodbye from the entire team that puts this show together, but don't go anywhere. Our Thursday special big deal is coming up next.